From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Property tax assessments. What upcoming opportunities you have to go in and ask further questions about the process and what the assessment means for you and your family.
321. I'm Alina Howder. The nationwide vet shortage is affecting communities here in Montana. We'll tell you more coming up.
There's lots of life in Montana's rivers, but some of that life can be harmful to the fisheries. I'm Chet Lehman. Coming up this week, we'll take a look at Clean Drain Dry, and it's not just about your boat.
Alrighty, it is 6:31 on this Monday edition of Montana This Morning. Jay McDonald and Matt Elwell with you. River was probably a popular place this weekend.
I'm guessing it was. Very hot conditions, and looks like we continue with the warm temperatures overall as we're going through the next couple of days.
All right.
Unfortunately,
yeah.
or fortunately, I don't know, however you want to look at it. Air quality has been a concern in parts of the area, watching the smoke try to roll in for the early part of the day, but temperature-wise, we're sitting into the 50s. Right now, we're in the green for air quality. A couple of isolated thunder showers as you get into the mid-afternoon, early part of the evening for southwest Montana. Overrunning chances, not great, but the rain chances are out there. It's still hot, though. Spend some time indoors if you can. Daytime temperatures near 90, a couple of isolated thunder showers through the afternoon and evening. We do have some cooler weather on the way. We'll talk more about that, of course, in just a few minutes.
All right, looking forward to it, Matt. Thank you very much. 6:30 to our top story this half hour. A woman was found near West Yellowstone from an encounter with a bear. According to a press release from Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks, a woman was found dead on the Buttermilk Trail. Investigators did confirm that the tracks at the scene were from a grizzly bear. Because of this, the Custer-Gallatin National Forest has closed the Buttermilk area. Now, this is an area 8 miles west of West Yellowstone. The identity of the victim has not yet been released, and the investigation is ongoing. Of course, we'll keep you updated online and on air as we learn more. And throughout the past couple of weeks, we've been telling you all about property tax appraisal town halls. Last week, MTN's Edgar Cedillo had the opportunity to attend one in Belgrade and got a feel for the shock that many people felt when they opened their new property tax assessment.
You expect them to go up. You don't expect them to go up that much.
Maureen Holt was left speechless when she saw her property tax estimate from the Department of Revenue. She sees seeing those tax hikes makes planning for the future a lot harder.
Well, you think of going into retirement or something, or you plan and budget. And going out, you think, okay, I have this much money to pay this.
Holt says that she had questions, which is why she decided to attend several of the town halls hosted by the Montana Department of Revenue across our area. Chad Essler, the Southwest Montana Regional Director of the Department of Revenue, says that these town halls are a first for the department.
I've been with the Department of Revenue for 10.5 years, and this is the first time in my tenure with the department that we've had these town halls.
Essler says the reason for the assessment increases is because of the department's estimates are based on home values as of January 1st of 2022.
The estimated taxes on our assessment notice, and those are just estimated based on last year's mill levies. So we have to include last year's mill levies on that assessment notice per law.
According to the Montana Department of Revenue, the median house price went up 46% statewide. Essler says in our 9-county region saw some of the highest increases across the state. Park and Beaverhead County saw an increase of 48%. Madison and Gallatin County saw an increase just under 60%. And topping our region and the state is Granite County at a 67% increase.
We've seen anywhere from a 40 to a 67% increase in values.
Essler says because of these high numbers, his office expects more appeals this time around than what they saw for the last appraisal cycle.
We roughly saw about 2,500 informal appeals filed in Region 4, but I anticipate seeing a higher number just due to the large increase in values.
Holt says that an appeal for her property tax assessments is likely her next step.
Probably we're right now debating whether we're going to protest, pay our taxes under protest.
Now, the appeal deadline is coming up fast. It has to be turned in by the end of this month. And as we've been telling you throughout the month, the Department of Revenue is holding property tax assessment town halls, and those are winding down in our area. The last town hall, located in southwest Montana, will be in Three Forks this Wednesday from 5 to 9 o'clock at night over at the Three Forks City Hall. And a growing number of bank customers are having their accounts shut down without much warning or explanation, leaving them without access to their money. Christine Lazar explains how a bank's attempt to prevent fraud is causing a problem.
When we met Elad Niharai and his family, they had been at this Bank of America for hours, trying to get access to their life savings. That morning, when Elad tried to log into his online bank account, he got this alert.
Bank of America told me it was shut down. They refused to give me an explanation. They told me I would get my money after it was resolved,
Which he says he was told would take 10 to 20 days.
all of a sudden I find out I'm broke, I can't feed my family, and I can't pay any expenses.
Elad tweeted about his experience and it went viral, with some commenting on how it had also happened to them.
I was shocked to find out that this is actually relatively common.
Banking expert JD Kuntz says the reason banks shut down accounts is because their algorithm for fraud detection has flagged the account for suspicious behavior.
And unfortunately, some good people are being caught in the net with the bad when they try to weed out who may be causing problems.
Elad believes his account was flagged because he recently was the victim of an email scam and reported it to the FBI. We reached out to Bank of America. They wouldn't discuss Elad's case, but directed us to the customer agreement that states the bank may close your checking or savings account at any time without advance notice. Eventually, the bank did allow Elad to transfer his money into another account. He decided to then move it to a credit union. Experts recommend putting your money in multiple accounts at different banks. So if your account is closed down, you are not left without access to any money. Christine Lazar, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Now back in Treasure State headlines, we've talked about the shortage of qualified help in the medical field since the pandemic, and that shortage also happening in the animal medical world. MTN's Alina Howder takes a look at how the shortage of veterinary care is affecting Montana's rural areas.
Montana is feeling the effects of a nationwide vet shortage, one that's been exacerbated by the pandemic, and it's hitting the rural communities in our state the hardest.
I know my patient's in good hands.
Good hands are hard to find these days when it comes to veterinarians, and that's because they're in short supply.
I think there's a lot of factors playing into it, and COVID, unfortunately, is one of them.
Dr. Samantha Mitchell is the director of shelter medicine at the Humane Society of Western Montana. She says shelters saw an increase in adoptions during the pandemic.
During the pandemic, about 1 in 5 households ended up getting either a pet or an additional pet, and so there was a large increase in pet ownership.
Though those adoptions have slowed down tremendously, more folks were trying to get their animals into the vet for appointments. Dr. Edie Best saw this firsthand.
Because this is just perception again, that people were home with their pets. They recognized problems more readily because they were spending way more time with their pets.
Dr. Best of the Billings Animal Family Hospital says that more pets means fewer appointment slots.
I think some veterinarians would prefer to keep that model of fewer appointments, curbside care, those sorts of things, which then just does limit availability.
And just like in healthcare, many vets left their practices because of the stress of the pandemic.
For a lot of vets, it was kind of a breaking point, and so they went into different fields besides general practice or retired altogether.
It doesn't help that there are no vet schools in Montana, forcing residents to go out of state, which makes it harder to recruit in those rural areas.
It's hard to find that exact person that wants to go out into the middle of nowhere, Montana, and practice veterinary medicine, when maybe they've been schooled in a larger city.
Dr. Mitchell says all these factors will directly affect the future of the industry.
I think the future in the short term is a little daunting. I do think we're going to see an increase in pet overpopulation, as well as an increase in diseases.
I hope that the rural small practices can stay afloat. I think they will. I think there's always going to be that need.
In Billings, Alina Howder, MTN News.
Thank you very much, Alina. Now, taking care of your equipment is a big part of fishing in Montana. And this week, the Montana Department of Fish, Wildlife, and Parks would like everyone who hits the water to make a new equipment routine in an effort to take care for Montana's waterways.
There are more things in this river than just fish. In fact, some of those things can actually be harmful to this river's fisheries. That's why the Montana Department of Fish, Wildlife, and Parks stresses clean, drain, dry. And that doesn't just go for your boat.
You know, the things that we always say in preventing the spread of aquatic invasive species is clean, drain, and dry. And that goes for, you know, something as small as your waders and in the gear that you're wearing. So that means opening everything up, making sure there's no standing water, no vegetation or mud or things like that, and just making sure everything's cleaned out and that it's completely dry before you take it to another water body.
FWP suggests making this part of your regular routine. Check your equipment before taking to the water and clean, drain, dry when you leave.
A lot of aquatic invasive species don't need a lot to be transported from one place to another. You know, New Zealand mud snails, for example, they just need just a little bit of dirt to hold on to until they get to another source of water, and that's how they spread. So
some equipment needs extra care. If you're planning to fish in Yellowstone or a handful of other states, check the regulations. These are not allowed at all.
If you have wader boots with felt soles on the bottom, you want to make sure they're completely clean of mud and things like that. You can take a brush and clean them off, as well as on the inside. Just make sure you just go over everything really thoroughly.
FWP knows you love to fish in your favorite spot or spots. Clean, drain, dry is a way to make sure you can long into the future.
The purpose of all this is really just to prevent the spread of aquatic invasive species and protect the places that we enjoy, because we care about these places, and you know, preventing these aquatic nuisances really goes a long way toward ensuring that these resources are available to enjoy in the future.
What better reason do you need to take a couple of minutes after every outing than that? This week on the river, Chet Lehman, MTN News.